Welcome back to the Red Store. Today, we're talking about My Hero Academia, chapter 306, the final act. As we start the chapter, we have All Might, and he's being confronted, well, not really confronted, but Hawks and Best Janice, they have questions, and it's about One for All. And exactly just what it is, because there's been a lot of chatter in the media and on different message boards and whatnot when it pertains to Hero Society about what exactly it is, because it was mentioned on their radios during the raid. But when some of the heroes quit, they had mentionings of it to the media, like, oh, someone mentioned this One for All, and they're asking him, so now they're asking him what it's about. Like, hey, can we talk to Midoriya? Is he awake? Because I have some questions. Hawks, he's very intuitive. He wants, he has some questions, and he's not coming from an aggressive standpoint, but it's just they have to be ready, because these press conferences are coming up, and they can't afford to be blindsided or let the public think that they don't know exactly what's going on or they're hiding something from them, especially during a time like this when Hero Society is failing horribly. They need to put their best foot forward, and for them to do that, they have to have all the information available about the topics that they're going to bring up in this press conference. So, to my surprise, All Might, he's like, you know what? Okay, like he tells them about it, even though as we start the series, it's like, this is a big secret. We don't tell anybody because society could go into chaos. Just think about it. If somebody could have this power, what would they do for it? It would be too much. So it has to be very secretive, very selective, and we have to carry that burden to the degree where the public doesn't know about All for One. And no one knows, oh yeah, he's been a villain that's been alive for generations, causing trouble that we've been having this secret war with for all these years and all these generations of heroes. But Horikoshi, he keeps us a little bit in the dark just because he doesn't tell us exactly what he says to Hawks and Best Janice. We just know that they had a conversation, and also that someone, probably All Might, also called UA and said, hey, we should use the school grounds, since they're so secure, to shelter all the people that are displaced by Gigantoma's rampage across the cities. So it's going to be UA and some of the other predominant high schools that can take on all the people who were displaced by those disasters. And we actually find out that Deku's mother is indeed still alive, which is good. It's pretty good. I thought it was my personal opinion that, she was killed in the raid just because she hadn't been to the hospitals to see her son and we hadn't seen her. So it was just, it was a big question mark in my head, but she's fine and she's at UA. So now all the kids will be back with their parents. Should be pretty interesting to see. Then we move on to later that night, and we have the big three, and they're at the press conference and they're speaking to the press. Endeavor, he actually just owns up and says, yes, everything my son said was true, and I can't apologize enough for what I did. Most people got caught off guard and by surprise, and he even receives some back, like, oh my God, how could you do that? But at the end of the day, it kind of makes sense for him to just come out and own it and say, yes, I did do it. I was wrong for it, and now, I'm moving forward and trying to right my wrongs, because Hero Society, society's at kind of like a point where, they can't really be too choosy. They're in the middle of this crazy villainous war between, All for One and Hero Society, so they can't really be, oh no, I don't want you to protect me. It's like, you don't have any choice but to back him, because you see everybody else quit. So able to be honest with it, because it's like the media, they can only put so much spin or twist on it, because at the end of the day, they don't have any other heroes to fall back on or rely on. So they have to, and he's the number one hero at that. So, but he indeed, confirms it. Hawks confirms to the public that he did kill twice, but only because he had to, and he apologized because he didn't want to. It's not like he wanted to kill twice, but at the same time, he couldn't allow him to escape, and use his quirk because everything would have been 10 times his work. So imagine if he was able to somehow make a copy of Giganto Machina or, Shigaraki, and now they had to do it. Would have been, if that would have happened, we could have seen the heroes lose, So it was definitely necessary for him to kill twice, and he explains that to the public. And then Beth Jennings also explains to the public, he's like, hey, so what we're going to do is, it's not a lot of us, so they're trying to keep the population condensed into certain areas. Like they have, people at the high school using those as shelters and whatnot. That way, that's less burden on them. The high school grounds are secure. No one can break in, even though this could be an avenue to see the UA trader pop up, and the school could be subject to attacks, but I'll save that for later. But so now everyone's they're like, so like, what are you guys gonna do? Some of my family members, they were hurt in this, like y'all just standing there like this isn't what we want. And Endeavor's like, hey, we didn't all, had our moment. We cried and broke down and feel better. Would you feel better if that's what you saw me doing right now? No, it's not. I'm going to be the type of hero that I've always been. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to catch and I'm going to get as many villains as I possibly can and restore society to order. Just follow me. You know what? If anything, this is what I've pushed myself to do my entire life. So if anybody's good at it, if anybody's going to be good at it, I know All Might would have been best, but I'm here and I'm the next best thing. So let me do my thing. Let me do my job. And, it was kind of, I feel like that's what the public needs. And it also kind of shows that, I feel like he definitely taking this personal, like the entire attacks, everything that's going on with the public, his family being put out there. He definitely has this huge chip on his shoulder. And now he's going to take that chip and he's going to use it to push him forward so he can end, this new Demon Lord era that's come about in Hero Society. So, that's good for the heroes and that's good for him. We cut back to UA and we have a lot of the kids, they're still back at school and everybody has a note at their door. And it's from Midoriya. And he's saying that, hey, I got my power from All Might and I don't feel comfortable coming back here because I don't want to put you guys in danger, because he's definitely after me. He was after me during the raid, and now, he's coming back. And, it's something that I'm about to basically, I'm going to take up some of the predecessors of my quirk's wishes, and I have to stop Shigaraki. I don't want you guys following me down this path, and I also don't want anything to happen to y'all just because I'm at school and the villains are going to come and attack. And so, he leaves UA. He drops out, and now he's in the city. And it looks like we kind of get a cool shot of him at the end. He's just like standing on this like skyscraper, and he's looking and he says, oh, it must be some giant villain about, because we see a villain collapse. But, he still has on all his hero costume. It's a little tattered, but he still has it on. And also it looks like he has on Gran Torino's cape / cloak. So he has that on as well. He's kind of looking very like a little nomadic, but also you can see in like the last panel, there's like a sadness to his eyes, because he's starting this, what I presume to be his new chapter in his life. And it's just basically him. I wouldn't say he's exactly alone, because he does have all the predecessors inside of his quirk that he can talk to more freely now, but he's isolated from, all of his friends and family, and it's a self-imposed isolation, but it's still isolation. He's doing what he thinks is best for them, and he wants to keep all of them safe. So now he's going to remove himself so that way they don't get caught up in the crossfire, which, kind of brings me back to where I think they might have this last end-all be-all battle, which would be inside of their quirks, inside of One for All and inside of All for One. And I feel like that would be ideal on Deku's part, just because he can eliminate a lot of the casualties, a lot of the damages that would happen. And we would, from a reader standpoint, we could see Deku, fight at his, potential, like see the true, One for All at, infinity. I'm pretty sure, that's probably going to be the next thing. But, he can use, his power infinitely without having to worry about causing damages or any civilians in the way. So I feel like that would be the best stage for their last fight, which, Horikoshi, he's still gearing us up to. If this chapter is called The Final Act Begins, then we get a sense of where everything is going. And there's this big war that's going to come, and that's probably going to be the last of it. So will we see the heroes win? Will we see the villains win? It's left up. It's left up for Horikoshi to decide and us to read and find out. But I feel like he's also a little bit misguided in what he's doing for like two reasons. One, we know that there's still a traitor at UA. So even though he's gone, there's still someone there who is directly working with the League of Villains that is going to cause a problem in some way, shape, or fashion. Because even though he's gone, what if, we know the type of person that All For One is. How easy would it be like, this kid, he's running off. I don't want to fight him. I'm going to go to UA where like his mother, his family, everybody he cares about is. I'm going to, have the fight there. I'm going to make him give me the quirk. I'm like, yeah, I'll destroy them all if you don't give me my little brother. He's exactly the type of person that would do something like that. So there's still collateral damage there. Just because you've separated yourself from it doesn't mean that they're still not vulnerable and they still can't be attacked or used against you by the villains. So there's that. And then there's also, he knows what type of people his classmates are. Like, it's not like these are the type of kids that are just like, all right, we're going to play it safe. We're going to go by the rules. I think there's going to be a big uptake in vigilantism. Like, the rest of the kids are going to be like, you know what? I'm following suit. I'm about to drop out and I'm going to go be out there. I'm going to go be a vigilante and I'm going to help save society. And so we're probably going to see that happen because in a lot of the cases, he doesn't realize this, but a lot of the kids do follow him and they are inspired by him. Even if we go all the way back to the UA Sports Festival arc when they're saying like, listen, Midoriya, I'm trying to beat you. Like, I'm going to beat, I can't let you surpass me. So there's going to be that. He might very well just see, Uraka, Bakugo, even Ida. He could be out there too. So a lot laid out in front of us next chapter. We started this, it's kind of crazy if you look at it in context to how we started versus where we're at. And you just had, Deku, he's doing the most, trying everything to get into UA. And now he feels as though he's forced to leave UA because he's a target. So there's a lot to sit on, a lot to digest. And of course, we should definitely enjoy every chapter of it, even when they're slower, just because, it has to be that build up to that climax. And, counting the chapters down until we reach this final war between the heroes and the villains. But definitely talk to me in the comments. Let me know what you guys are feeling. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.